USC football does everything it can to keep us from pointing the finger at Alex Grinch. With the baseball regular season ending today, maybe we should take a first peek at the upcoming offseason. And the Chargers might be shy a defensive cornerstone today. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is October 1st, 2023. It is also the Lord's Day. If you believe as I do, take a moment. Thank you for all the blessings in your life. Like, for example, we added a new subscriber again to the Angeleno Familia. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Love hearing from you guys. Try to get back to every one of you. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. And by the way, we have some breaking news that sort-of involves the Clippers, which we'll get to in just a moment. Last night, Clayton Kershaw actually lost for the first time since May. Mookie Betts had an RBI single, but that was the only run the Dodgers could get in a 2-1 San Francisco victory. Meanwhile, Caleb Williams threw for 6 touchdown passes. 6! Whew, but everything I talked about on Friday night with this team came true. 8th ranked USC 48, Colorado 41. And Portland and Galaxy, they hustled to a 3-3 tie. Eric Zavaleta scored twice. There's a rapid recap of that match on the LA Galaxy playlist. The Dodgers are going to finish the regular season today in San Francisco up at noon. That'll be Bobby Miller, who's 11-4 with a 3.89 ERA, versus Kyle Harden, who is 1-1 with a 4.85 ERA. If the Dodgers win today, their last game of the regular season, they will once again hit the 100-win mark in the regular season. The Rams are in Indianapolis at 10 a.m. Now, the Rams are obviously down Cooper Kupp. The Colts will obviously be starting their rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. But the Colts are vulnerable. They are down at least 2, possibly 3 offensive linemen. Could be a big day for Aaron Donald. Las Vegas is in town to play the Chargers at 1. Jimmy Garoppolo is out for the Raiders. They're probably going to start their rookie, Aiden O'Connell. And Real Salt Lake is at LAFC at 5 o'clock. If LAFC wins, the Black and Gold are in MLS Cup playoffs. Now, with the breaking news, like I said, it's not directly involving the Clippers, but it just happened within about a minute or so ago. You had been hearing rumors for a couple of weeks now about how the Clippers, how they want to go out and they want to get Jrue Holiday, how the Clippers all summer long they wanted to get Malcolm Brogdon. They're not getting either. The Celtics are sending Malcolm Brogdon to Portland as part of a package in order to get back Jrue Holiday. So there's your breaking news. But I really, really want to talk about USC a lot. Because USC's defense is terrible. We have a mountain of evidence to tell us how USC's defense is terrible. That mountain of defense is so high that the cast of The View could literally hang glide off it. That's how high the mountain of evidence is. Now, as a consequence, though, I've noticed something, and I had to talk it out with another reporter on Twitter a little bit. Not that we're close friends, but he's a pretty bright fellow. USC and the national press are asking us not to believe what we're seeing. And that infuriates me even more because we've all heard the word in the last year, a couple of years, about gaslighting. I'm tired of hearing the word gaslighting. And what makes me even madder about hearing the word gaslighting is when people actually are trying to gaslight you. It's when they are telling you a lie over and over again to the point where you actually have to question whether or not you're right. We're not wrong. USC's defense is that terrible. But that is not just what USC's coaching staff and administration is doing. That is what Fox Sports is doing. Have you been watching the Fox Sports broadcasts of USC football? Yesterday, Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt is considered an expert in football strategy. Both of them go to great lengths to say how great a defensive coordinator Alex Grinch is. That the USC defensive line, and I poop you not, USC's defensive line is arguably the best in the country, they're telling us. The defensive backs, well, they're not arguably the best, but man, they are one of the best in the country. None of that is true. None of it. None of it. Now, if you haven't seen the clip yet, I do encourage you to watch Friday Night Chalk Talk this last week, because what I wound up doing is I took all of the defensive flaws from Alex Grinch's defensive scheme, because it is a high-risk, high-reward scheme. And if you don't get the reward, it's extremely dangerous. And I basically broke down all the problems that are inherent in Alex Grinch's 3-3-5 defense. Now, I'm not right about everything. This is not an I told you so rant. I don't like doing hot takes anymore. But what I wanted to do was literally explain why you were seeing such a dumpster fire whenever USC's defense took the field. Alex Grinch likes to blitz on every possible down. Every single down, he wants to blitz. And when you blitz, you leave weaknesses in your defense. Colorado hit every weakness. But it's not because Deion Sanders watched my clip and saw the weakness. It's because the defensive flaws in Alex Grinch's mind are so bloody obvious. You beat blitzes with screens. Shadur Sanders kept flinging bubble screens and regular screens around. I stopped counting when it got to 6. Because I knew they were going to keep doing it. You beat blitzes with draw plays. Colorado used the draw play to rush for two. Colorado going into the game in 4 games rushed for only 223 yards. Barely 55 yards a game, right? Then they go up against USC. They keep hitting the draw and they rush for 193 total against the Trojans. They almost doubled their entire season total in terms of rushing because Alex Grinch is obsessed with blitzing quarterbacks. He doesn't look at anything else. He doesn't look at running backs. He doesn't look at wide receivers. He only looks at stopping the quarterback. And if an offensive coordinator is smart enough, they can scheme around it, and they do. By the way, Grinch also pulls in the safety for run support, right? So that just leaves one safety up top. It also leaves both cornerbacks going one-on-one with the wide receiver. If you noticed, that would leave the deep middle of the field vulnerable. Look at the tape. I break it down. Sanders passed for 2 touchdowns in that defense. Guess where he hit 2 of those touchdowns? You guessed it, the deep middle. They knew where to hit USC. USC never adjusts. USC always blitzes, and it costs them. Now, the argument that Lincoln Riley and Grinch make every week is that the defense is going to make up for the big plays they give up by creating big plays on their own. Oh, we're going to sack the quarterback a bunch. We're going to generate a lot of turnovers. Well, for all of that risk, USC got 2 sacks. 2. 1 turnover. They gave up 564 yards of offense to an unranked team that can't block. And so I'm watching this performance that smells worse than an overflowing septic tank, and I keep asking myself, what the hell are Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt watching? What are they watching? Why are they praising a defensive coordinator who just gave up 564 yards? And then former ESPN writer Steve Kim, again, I'm not claiming we're friends, but he answered me. Access. Consider this. If you're in the press, if you're a scribe, and you want access to the program, if you want access to the kids, even though the kids are all adults, you have to follow Lincoln Riley's rules. Every one of them. Therefore, it's not a good idea to piss Lincoln Riley off. If you remember, it was just a week or so ago when Lincoln Riley revoked the press pass of an Orange County Register reporter for talking with a player when he wasn't supposed to, for a puff piece feature article. Not about Alex Grinch, not about problems in the program. It was a puff piece feature. If you could lose your press pass for talking to somebody when they're not supposed to, how many reporters are going to risk their job, risk their press pass, which would be for their beat, by asking legitimate, difficult questions about that soft-ass defense? And that would even include Fox Sports. Why would you risk pissing Lincoln Riley off? So instead of getting an honest analysis, instead of getting good questions, tough, fair questions about why Alex Grinch still pulls a paycheck, you're just going to hear the national press say, oh, it's only going to be a matter of time before the USC defense pulls it together. They got all the talent. They're recruiting better now. Alex Grinch is a smart guy. It's only going to be a matter of time. You're being gaslit. You are being lied to. Don't believe your lying eyes. There is a massive, fundamental, catastrophic problem that can take away USC's chance at legitimate greatness. The one time Caleb Williams doesn't pass for 6 touchdowns or 350 yards or rush for another 100, USC is going to be in real trouble. That's how bad the defense is. And it's time for USC to answer why Alex Grinch is still pulling that damn check. Today seems like a good time to look ahead, just a little glimpse at the Dodgers offseason, because we will have a couple of days off before we kick off the National League Division Series. Lots of teams are going to be eliminated. They're going to scheme about what players they can't keep or what players that they fear they're going to lose, what they hope they can get. You get the idea. At CBS, though, they created a list of the top 25 free agents for all of Major League Baseball. Now, Shohei Ohtani obviously tops the list, and the Dodgers are listed as potential suitors, which is, again, obvious. But the writer was insisting that 3 teams in the NL West are the primary suitors, not the Yankees, not the Mets. It would be the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers. I am extremely skeptical about the Padres because I'm already reading stories about how they're probably going to wind up cutting payroll during the offseason. They realize what they wound up getting for all of that money, which was poop. Now, players LA would allegedly also have interest in include third baseman Matt Chapman of Toronto, pitcher Lucas Giolito, who last pitched with Cleveland, maybe even a reunion with Justin Turner as a DH. Players that the Dodgers could lose as a top free agent would include J.D. Martinez and Clayton Kershaw, who also might retire, by the way. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll definitely keep you in the loop. Let me give you one more note about Kershaw, though. He's about 50 strikeouts shy of striking out 3,000 batters. Only 19 people have ever done that. Starting pitcher Lance Lynn was placed on the bereavement list with the subject of said bereavement. Who is the subject of said bereavement? I don't know. So just simply pray for him and his family. Victor Gonzalez was promoted from AAA to fill in. We mentioned earlier how the opposing quarterback for the Raiders won't play because the Raiders are just a bloody mess, right? The defensive end, Chandler Jones, he's got some serious personal issues. The Raiders wound up cutting him. But it doesn't mean that everything is coming up roses for the Chargers going into today's game. Joey Bosa might not play. He injured his hamstring in week 1. He's been trying to gut it out. He's been limited to just 43 snaps since week 1. It's not the end of the world, though, if Bosa does wind up missing the game. At least they have Tui Pelotu as a backup, and he's been just outstanding as a rookie. Finally, Gabe Vincent gave the perfunctory response to D'Angelo Russell being named the Lakers' starting point guard. Quote, "That's something for D. Ham to worry about. I'm not the coach. I don't set lineups. I just go out there and do my job," unquote. Now, people are trying to say that this is stoking fires of whatever. But let's be real. What the hell did you expect Gabe Vincent to say? Am I right? What are you going to say? Well, you expect him to start acting like Patrick Beverley, crapping on the Lakers' every move? No. He's a professional. He wants his money, as do I, which is why I'm going to work after I end this clip. So, if you enjoyed the content, if you feel like commenting, let me know what you think of the comments thread. Tell me what you think about Alex Grinch. Tell me what you think about the Clippers offseason now that they've technically swung and missed on at least 3 potential starters. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day now. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.